S.Y.D, Share Your Dreams is where I interview business owners and investors who are living in their dreams, doing what they love to do, day in and day out. Please join me to get an insight on their passion. Stay tuned. Hi Jack.
Hello,
Good morning.
Chris.
How are you?
Great to meet you.
Yep, likewise. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you feature in my Share Your Dreams episode. This is all about interviewing business owners and property investors.
Yes.
To share your dreams and what you're passionate about and what you do day in and day out.
Excellent.
So let's kick it off. How did you get into property investing?
I think it all, if you allow me, let me go back to my childhood.
Yeah, no, of course.
It all comes from the desire, right?
Yes.
I grew up in a family where there was always, everyday challenges, the fights around, arguments around finances.
Yes.
So, quickly I got this belief that not having enough money is the cause of all the problems. So I decided that when I grow up, I just don't want to live this life.
Yes.
And when I had that desire I want to get out of that environment and start my life. As I graduated from my college, my uncle fortunately helped me with the finances getting out in Australia here.
Yes. Okay.
So I came here in 2005 on a student visa.
Okay.
Studied hospitality.
Yes.
And got my residency in 2007.
Yes.
And I thought I'm living my life now. It was slightly enhanced than what I was living in India. But later on, when I got married, got the mortgage, I felt like I'm slowly falling into the same trap what was back in India.
Back home, yes.
So just focusing on paying the bills, working hard, and end of the day, there is no money to enjoy the life, mortgage and taxes and everything. So my desire was to, I need to come out of this. How can I do this?
Yes.
And I believe that when you have a strong desire, someone will appear in your life. And in my case, it was my roommate, who was also my best friend. So he got me into this property, which I never thought about I would ever come into property. He helped me to buy a block of land in Western Sydney for $210,000. I just flipped it, which I now regret. I shouldn't have done. I should have kept it for the long time. Yeah. But that's how I got started into property
Can I ask
investing.
what suburb that was?
It was a place called Pemble Way in close to Parramatta.
Okay.
It was a Stockland development.
Yeah. Oh no. So you bought it, and how long did you hold on to it? Just one.
Just a couple of months.
Couple of months.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just bought it at the right price and just sold it with some profit.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, if I look at it now, how the Pembleway has done, I should have kept that block. And
definitely. Yeah. Like property management, it's a long-term game, but that's the thing. What you learn through your property investment journey. Like I myself as well, I bought properties when I was young, and I sold it to make a profit, thinking of investing it elsewhere and things like that. But when you see what the market has done, you just think back and like, damn, I wish should have kept it, hold on to it. But yeah, definitely property investing is definitely a long-term thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more.
Definitely. Now, in regards to your investment journey, did you have any fears getting into it? And now that you've got your experience under your belt, do you still have those same fears?
I had one of the biggest fear for me and my wife. My company name is JR Prosperity Partners.
Yes.
R stands for Ruchi and J stands for Jack.
Yes.
And we both had this very common fear. Biggest fear we had was debt.
Yes.
If I go back before getting started into property investment, we both were having a good job.
Yes.
And the bank was approving us, $500,000 to just go and buy.
Yes.
But we were not ready. We didn't want to borrow that money, and we ended up buying our first home half of the price rather than using the whole money, which could have doubled and made more money in bigger sense. So the bigger fear was debt. And when I went and started studying different successful people, especially Robert Kiyosaki, he says there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. That was
100%.
very new terminology to me.
Yes.
I thought debt is debt.
Yeah.
And once I realized that there is a good debt which can leverage and make you more money,
Yes.
now I think I am very comfortable with that. I would love to borrow more. If the banks allow me, I'll
Yeah.
keep borrowing and invest towards assets rather than not spending.
That's right. It's like you got the asset class and you have the liabilities as well. So
Yes.
it's like bad debt, you know, you buy a property, but you get the income, you get the returns, you get the tax benefits. Or you can use that same money and buy, you know, a nice fancy car, and then you got that as liabilities,
depreciates in
and the
value.
depreciation goes down.
Yes.
So no, that's definitely a key, and definitely something that you definitely need to get your head around.
Yes.
To really make it.
Absolutely,
Into property
absolutely. You
investing.
need to break that fear of debt if you want to go build a multi-million-dollar property
Yeah.
portfolio in real estate.
Yeah, no, excellent. That's excellent. Now, knowing what you know now and with your experience and things like that, is there anything that you would have done differently at the start of your property investment journey? I know we touched on, you know, best to hold on to it.
Yes.
Is there anything else that maybe with your experience that you've come across thinking, oh, maybe I should have done this differently?
I think start early.
Yeah.
You know, when I came here in 2005, I was living
Yes.
in KMC,
Yeah.
and the prices there for a unit was $200,000. You know,
Yeah.
and I wish I would have just started early.
Yeah.
And just don't waste time, because the time is everything. You know, life flies. You know, you set up a New Year resolution, and the year is gone in a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
You know, so my thing is just start early.
Start early, that's right. I think that's a lot of sayings for a lot of property investors out there.
Yes.
Well, once they've had that experience and they know how the game works, they always say, if only I bought 2 properties instead of 1 property back then,
That's
seeing
right.
how the prices have definitely
That's right. It's not the
come up, yeah.
timing; it's the time in the
It's
market.
the timing. That's it. Yeah, you gotta plan it well, and you know there's different markets, as you know. It can
Absolutely.
be Sydney, it could be even interstate as well. So you can't only just pocket yourself
Absolutely.
into.
In Australia, the market works differently. You know, sometimes Sydney market could be stagnant,
That's
and there are other markets growing at the same time. And
Yeah.
you could be living here locally and thinking market is crashing,
Yes.
whereas some other places market could be booming.
Yeah.
You just have to be part of that.
No, excellent. Excellent. Now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, do you have any goals that you're
For
working
me and the company, or
Yeah, for both.
see, I came across that success is very simple,
Yes.
right? To have success, there are 3 ingredients which you require. The first thing is you need to have that fire, the desire.
Yes.
Desire that I don't want to live this life. I want to change my life. I want to change my life for my family. I don't want my future generations to live like this. That fire needs to be backed up with the planning and tools.
That's right.
So yeah, you could have a biggest desire, but you don't know how to use that fire to
That's right.
create something.
You need your why and your purpose.
And the tools.
Yeah, and the tools.
And
it's
the-
like fuel to keep you
Yes,
going.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the third thing you require is execution discipline.
Yes.
We could be all dreaming every single day, but if you don't execute what we
Execute.
think, nothing gonna happen.
That's right.
So my goal for next 5 years is to create an environment where I can provide all 3 things together to our members, to our clients, so they get the motivation, they get all the tools required, and they get execution discipline. Someone keeps them accountable, and I think that's a success formula for not only building a property portfolio. Even if you're running a business, you can use the same formula for that, and you can use same formula to build your health. It's simple.
Definitely.
And that's my vision.
No,
to
definitely. You definitely need a plan, and obviously the purpose to keep you going, because otherwise there's no target, and you
yes.
can lose track and you don't reach your goals that way. So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, that's excellent. Now let's touch on your business, because obviously you're a property investor yourself. You and your wife, you have this business, JR Prosperity Partners.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about your business and what you guys provide?
Sure. In straightforward, we help people realize their financial potential,
Yes.
and then help them build a property portfolio.
Yes.
But if I have to answer it differently, one of my mentor, Robert Kiyosaki, in his book Cash Flow Quadrant,
Yes.
he talked about there is a 4 different quadrants. There is the left side of the quadrant and the right side of the quadrant. left side of the quadrant stands for E and S.
Yes.
E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed. You know, but the challenge with this quadrant is they trade their time to make money.
That's right.
So there are not enough hours in a day. So that's why they keep working hard, go nowhere.
Yes.
And on the right side of the quadrant stands for B and I. So B stands for business owners and I stands for investors.
Yes.
So our aim is to help employees and self-employees to become successful property investors.
That's excellent. Yeah, so you targets both. So you're a business owner and then you're an investor as well. So you're heavily involved in that.
Yes.
And I can see, it feels like I know you. I follow you on your social media pages and things like that. You're heavily involved in, your why and your purpose, and I can see that that's what keeps you going. So that's excellent.
It does.
Yeah.
For me, is to help people realize their financial potential is so important. Once you realize, everyone can achieve anything they want.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Now, for the people out there who are looking at getting into property investing, what is your advice for them?
Okay, my personal advice is very, very simple. I go with the 80-20 rule.
Yes.
So I say 80% is psychology and 20% is strategy.
Yes.
That's coming from actually from my mentor, Tony Robbins.
Okay.
He talks about that, and that's where
Yes.
my life was changed. So for example, if someone wants to achieve good health, there is a saying that 80% is achieved in the kitchen and 20% is in the gym.
That's right.
But a lot of people spend so much money on gym memberships, but they don't do anything at the kitchen.
Yeah.
So same thing goes for property investment. 80% comes from self-discipline, how you use your money. There's a saying, it's not about how much you earn, how much you keep.
That's correct. Yes.
And now the second thing is let that money work hard for you.
Yeah. In regards to the current property market, can you share with us, what your thoughts are on it, and what your predictions are coming to the end of 2019?
I think it's a very interesting question.
Yes.
Property market, in hindsight, it's a long-term property market. But if you look at short-term, in the last 2 years, we've gone through a very strict guidelines by ASIC, and the lending has become very, very tight.
Yes.
And now, I think the government has realized that that's not helping the economy.
That's right.
And that's why they're dropping the interest. They are dropping the assessment rate.
Yes.
So more people can get into property market. So as the criteria will, it's not the desire. Everyone has a desire to get into the property market. It's just the lending was not allowing them to get into the property market. Now, if the lending becomes favorable, then a lot more people can get into the property market. That means it will create more demand, and that will bring the property to grow up. So I think this is a perfect time. I couldn't comment for the last 2 years, but now I think with all these policies changing, this is a perfect time to get into the property market.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, there's a lot of talk out there in regards to reinvesting. What's your thoughts on that?
I am actually very passionate about rent vesting.
Reinvesting, yeah.
Because I'm a rent investor myself.
Okay.
Excellent. It gives you the flexibility. It gives you the freedom. If you want to be in the area, because I got 2 kids, where you want send your kids to be in that particular school.
Yes.
You can go out and rent out. You don't
That's
have to buy that, and then you have a flexibility after a few years if you want to move.
To move, yes.
But the other thing is, when you buy your own home, you have a lot of emotional factor.
Yes.
Right? I want to live in this area. That area may not be growing. I want to live around my community or my friends.
Yes.
That area may not be good for building a property portfolio, and we make a wrong decision buying in the wrong location.
Yes.
By Rentvestor, you can take all the emotions out, because now you can rent where you want to live, and then
Yes.
you can invest where the growth is happening.
Exactly, and I think that's why it's popular at the moment, because obviously, the younger ones, they're going to work. They want to be closer to work. They want to be closer to the city, for example.
Yes.
To have that that nightlife and things like that. So they don't want to buy their first property in an area where they're not ready yet, for example. They want that flexibility.
Absolutely. We recently had a very success story of one of our client. It published in ABC News just a couple of days back.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. The client started with us 4 years ago, and in the path of rent vesting journey.
Yes.
And because of that rent vesting journey, he been able to build a portfolio of 8 investment properties in 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And that become a story, and
Yeah.
ABC picked it up, and they published as an
Oh,
article.
that's great.
So,
No, that's good. I'll definitely look into that and check that out.
yes.
No, that's good. Now, obviously, with your business, you deal with a lot of with your clients, different case scenarios and situations and things like that. What is a common thing that you see that is holding people back from getting into property investing?
Consciously and subconsciously. I think there are 2 factors holding
Yeah.
people back. Consciously is they're listening to the media constantly, and the media is always, sell negative news.
Yes.
So they're always telling you something different today and the next day today, so that makes them confused, should I do it or not do it? And that's a consciously stopping them. And what's subconsciously stopping everyone after talking to so many people in my workshops is they have a subconscious fear of debt. Most people won't accept it,
Yes.
but they don't know to differentiate between good debt and bad debt.
Yes.
And I think when you have a education and conviction towards it, you wouldn't be fear about accumulating more debt. That means
Yes.
you can grow your portfolio faster.
Yeah.
So I think there are two biggest things. One is the negative media around them, or the circumstances, the location where they live.
Yes.
The families and friends could be who have never invested in the past, and
Yeah.
they give you the free opinion.
Yeah.
The second thing is the fear of debt.
No. Your friends definitely influences you.
Yes.
So it's always good to reach out and get that knowledge, reach out for that knowledge, get that education, and
That's-
really study it.
That's
really
one of
study
my
it. Yeah.
motivation, to create the tribe, where people can come together
Yeah.
and talk to about, not the fluffy stuff,
Yeah.
being that like-minded
They have
people.
the same mindset,
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
mindset. and-
Proximity is power. Believing in that proximity of people
Yeah.
who are like-minded people.
Excellent. Motivation. What keeps you motivated? Like for me, obviously in my business, you obviously have your good and bad days,
Yes, yes.
things like that. So with me, I always turn to music. I listen to music. I listen to podcasts and things like that. What about yourself? What keeps you motivated? Do you have a song? Or you mentioned you've got a poem that you always read and
Yes, I do.
remind
I do.
you?
In fact, as you said, Chris, life could be very mundane. Every
Yes.
single day, you hit with a lot of roadblocks,
Yes.
and you need to have a purpose, and then you need to have something that can drive you. So I have 2 poems, which, if you allow me, I want to
Yes,
share.
of
One
course.
one
Yeah.
that keeps me grounded,
Yes.
and one that keeps me inspired. One
Yeah.
that helps me to achieve more. So let me share the one which
Yeah, definitely.
I'll read it for you. It's by one of my mentor, Richard Branson,
Okay.
that gives me inspiration to do what I do every day.
Yes. Okay.
So the poem is called "It's for All Entrepreneurs."
Yes.
So this is how it starts. The road to success is paved with tests. So you have got to believe in yourself above the rest. Dream big and let your passion shine. If you don't, you won't end up with a dime. Challenge the status quo, disrupt the market and say yes, and remember that innovation is an endless quest. Don't forget to change business for good. If you want to change the world, then you should. If you think with your head and listen to your heart, I promise you'll get off to a flying start. Make bold moves, but always play fair. Always say please and thank you. It's cool to care. Do what you love and love what you do. This advice is nothing new. Now stop worrying about whether your business will be a hit. Rise to the challenge and say, screw it, let's do it.
I love it.
This is the poem that keeps me,
Yeah.
inspires me to do more.
Yeah.
And I follow Richard Branson a lot. And one of our quote is, if your dream doesn't scare you, they're not big enough.
Yeah.
So I constantly keep thinking big. So, and one of the other poem, if you allow me,
Yeah, no,
this
definitely.
one keeps me grounded
Yes.
all the time. It's called "Forgive Me When I Whine." Today upon a bus, I saw a lovely girl with golden hair. I envied her. She seemed so happy, I wished I was as fair. When suddenly she rose to leave, I saw her hobble down the aisle. She had one leg and wore a crutch, but as she passed, a smile. "Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I have 2 legs, the world is mine." I stopped to buy some candy. The lad who sold it had such charm. I talked with him. He seemed so glad. If I were late, it would be no harm. And as I left, he said to me, "I thank you. You have been so kind. It's nice to talk to folks like you. You see," he said, "I am blind. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I have 2 eyes. The world is mine." Later, while walking down the street, I saw a child with eyes of blue. He stood and watched the others play. He did not know what to do. I stopped a moment, then I said, "Why don't you join the others, dear?" He looked ahead with a word, and then I knew he could not hear. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I have 2 ears, the world is mine. With feet to take me where I would go, with eyes to see the sunset glow, with ears to hear what I would know. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I am blessed indeed, the world is mine.
Excellent.
It just gives me goosebumps every time I read this poem.
Melts your heart, and it's very important to obviously be grateful. You know, it's attitude of gratitude is what I always like to say and remind myself.
Yes.
Because you can just never take things for granted.
I think this gives you fulfillment.
Yeah.
You know, you could be, every day you could wanting to achieve more and more and more.
Yeah.
But end of the day, we need to appreciate we already got.
Exactly.
And that just keeps me grounded.
Yeah. No, definitely. You got to appreciate your blessings, otherwise you.
Yeah. I believe that what you appreciate, it appreciates.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, that's excellent. This is excellent stuff. Do you remember when you first, what was this read to you, or it was in the book? Or do you remember the first time you heard these poems?
Because the first time I heard this poem, "Forgive Me When I Whine," was in a conference, and it was by the real estate tycoon, McGrath Real Estate, the owner of McGrath Real Estate.
Yeah.
And he was reading it on the stage, and it just melted me and say, he's so successful, and he keeps himself humble by that poem.
Yes.
And I just wanted to adopt that, and I just want to live that. So I try to read pretty much every day, or at least a couple of times in a week.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. That's great. So now to wrap it up, Jack, if you don't mind, do you have a tip or advice that you can share with our viewers out there? It can be in relation to business or property investing.
Yeah. I think what I realized over the last decade, that success is very, very, very simple. We have made it complicated in our head. And when I read all these successful books, or successful entrepreneurs, or successful businessmen, or successful investors, the 80% what they have achieved is because of their mindset. All these properties, all these resources were already available for everyone. And the people who are able to pick those resources and run with them because they have that mindset. So tip is basically saying, guys, work hard on yourself than on your job. This is by my mentor, Jim Rohn.
Yes.
He says, work hard on yourself. When he says work hard on yourself, is work hard on your attitude. Think the positives. Think the half glass full, not the half glass empty. There are so many wonderful things. When you start in a journey, you're obviously going to hit with the roadblocks.
Yes.
But if you don't have the attitude of looking at what you already achieved and appreciate it, you'll never grow.
Yeah.
So just pause there, work hard on yourself, and then start working on the strategy later.
No, actually, that's gold. That's gold. Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. So there you go, guys. If you'd like to know more about Jack and his team, JR Prosperity Partners, please reach out to him. He's also got great content on his social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Okay, there you go, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.